All right, guys. Going live here. Paul Colodi's going to join. This is where we do a combo New Jersey high school strength coach podcast and a little bit of a strong life podcast. Red Devil Strength is in the house. Connor, what's up, buddy? Here we go. All right. Yeah, buddy.
How are you?
Put that vertical, my dog. Nice.
Better.
I should be outside. Looks beautiful.
Hunter County, baby.
Me, I'm locked up in this underground office. Not good. So, all right, we'll crush this episode. And I think what would be good topics, Paul. By the way, National Coach of the Year. I mean, I can't.
Regional Coach of the Year, too. This is a double header right here.
Explode the internet. Explode the ego.
No
way.
Ego. No way.
We love the kids. Let's talk about lessons learned this year. We're at the end of our high school, the end of the high school year. Most teams are in playoffs. Are you guys in playoffs with lacrosse, baseball? What do you guys got?
Everybody's in right now so far. I'm waiting to hear back from volleyball how the boys did today. They had to go down to Kingsway. I think our girls lacrosse won. Our softball and baseball got postponed till tomorrow, and boys lacrosse I think was away. So we'll see how it goes.
Probably get postponed. I mean, I don't know. The weather could be different by you, but baseball played today. I got to see how they did. I saw girls lacrosse win 10-9 against Ramapo. So, schools are traveling over an hour for these playoff matches, games. And I got to tell you, when you're traveling, some of these teams are like, hey, man, I did not show up to lose. And I feel like the best assessment of athletes, because we're always assessing, is when they're on the playing field. So when I'm watching girls lacrosse, I'm watching how the game is played. Is there a lot of contact? What is the frequency of sprinting of our athletes? How far is the sprinting? Are they fatiguing going into the second, third, fourth quarter? And then, of course, like you start putting the pieces of the puzzle together. You're like, man, we should have been lunging more or doing squats or getting a little more leg volume or more sled work, or I should have exposed them to more hill sprints. And, Paul, there's no secret. Our best athletes who succeed the most are always the best prepared. I mean, that's my lesson year after year.
No doubt. Best compared, and to me, most competitive. Like I look at teams when we throw competitions out, who's really getting after it? Who's taking those losses seriously? Because I know if they take the loss seriously in the weight room or if we're out on the turf, I know that on Tuesday night, Friday night, whenever they're playing, they're going to be dialed in and not want to let their teammates down. And I think today I have a senior pitcher threw a one-hitter the other day in 4 years, was never missed a day. 4 days a week off season, 2 days a week in season. And here's the kicker. His brother, who introduced me to him when he was a junior and said, hey, my brother's coming in, he's never going to miss, was in today, back from Scranton. And what are they doing? We're running the fly 10 with a 5-yard run in. They're competing and they're arguing. Yeah, I'll smoke you. It was just awesome. And it's no surprise that Ryan, the senior right now, who's going to Siena, has one of the biggest vertical jumps in the room as a student athlete, 35.5 inches, ran a 1.26 today, which is smoking for a flying 10.
Yeah.
And, just wants to win at everything.
I'm taking notes here. So when I post it up on the blog, the best prepared are the most competitive. Consistency.
Yeah.
These are all messages not just coming from us as strength coaches, but on like my Instagram feed, I'm getting my algorithm on the Mid-South Strength and Conditioning is all like these coaches talking about commitment, consistency. And what's very interesting, Paul, is I think kids and parents, some of them, not all, they're like, hey, that guy is in your school. Let's just go somewhere else. There's got to be something better than what's provided by the school. So I was at a baseball game a couple days ago, and a mom said, "Hey, you got to help my son. He just goes to retro fitness." I spoke to another kid who hasn't put on muscle at all
Mm-hmm.
year. And I said, "Hey, I don't see you all year. What can we do to get you in here?" And he's like, "Oh, my dad is kind of looking at this other place where they take you there and they have a trainer that helps you out." I was like, "Yeah, dude, I know a guy."
Yeah.
And like, I'm trying to explain to him, but I said, the problem is it's very expensive. He's like, "How much?" I go, "It's so expensive, it's free." And, it's right there. And so, one of the lessons I've learned, Paul, is kids get offended today when you're like, "Hey, man, how come you're not
Mm-hmm.
training?" They're like offended. It shuts them down. They don't come back. You have to do like this very easy kind of smooth landing. "Hey, man, how's everything going? Haven't seen you, all year. Haven't seen you for 2 years." And they start actually opening up a little bit more. So that's, I would say, a little bit different about this generation.
Yeah.
And I want to say one more thing, Paul. I want to get your feedback on it. I spoke to an athlete today, and he was always organizing his team. And I think he got to a point where it was just him and like 5 to 8 other guys for years. He's like, I'm exhausted from constantly trying to round up the rest of my team.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, it just emotionally exhausted me that nobody wanted to go. So, as much as we encourage the athlete to be a leader, if the coach does not lead them and set clear expectations, as you say,
Mm-hmm.
What's that saying you have, Paul, with the expectations and culture?
Well, clarity is king. If there if the expectations aren't clear, a lot of different options open up. The options go away when the expectations and the standards are
That's it.
clear from the coach.
Yes. So expectations and standards. And so what's interesting is it's 2025. We all know that being stronger, faster, more explosive, putting on muscle makes you durable, more resilient, less likely to get injured. I always tell
Mm-hmm.
parents, we can never say injury prevention or
Nope.
guaranteed no injury. You could get, I've seen athletes get hurt doing non athletic
Mm-hmm.
stuff. It's like you just don't know. But if you don't prepare properly, you definitely increase your chances of getting hurt. So it's 2025 and we still have sport coaches not really taking advantage of what we offer. And same thing with parents. We just
Yeah.
held a free seminar at the Underground on Tuesday, and I said, you should skip your son or daughter's 50th travel practice of the week. And of course, guess what we heard? "I don't think we could make it. My son is here. My daughter's there."
Yeah.
They're going to 2 to 3 practices a day at age 12, at age 13. And at my school today, we have our athletic trainer is retiring. We had a substitute athletic trainer. She's been doing it for decades. And she said, back in the day, each kind of area had one AAU travel team, one level. And if you didn't make it, you just had to go out and play street ball.
Yeah.
And now, listen, this multi-million-dollar business, it's great for business. It's great for surgeons, especially shoulders, ACLs, Tommy John surgeries. That's not
Mm-hmm.
normal. And it's crazy that you and I said this, like, we're like, dude, you want to make money? Go all speed and agility, only turf,
Yeah.
no strength training. And you said, yeah, but that's not the right thing to do. And I'm not doing that.
Well, two things before I start to answer you back. One, I love Nate's. Nate was doing a commercial, and he said that kids are
A
more and more
commercial.
busy. Yeah, kids are busier than ever, but they're not getting any better.
Yep. Say it
You
all
know,
the time.
and then I love that giant medicine ball that you had in the Mid
I
South today.
got
That
a
thing,
story behind it. So
that's
go
awesome.
ahead.
Uh, you're talking about a multi-million-dollar. I just saw like the owner and of a business that does that type of stuff today say they hit $1 billion, B with a B, the other day, and that's crazy. And they have franchises all over the place. But I had it up on the board. Coach Scamba stopped by the other day. He's looking at facilities, and I had it up on the board, the standards and expectations. And I said, those places don't know our standards and expectations. They may make you better, you as an individual. But if you don't uphold the standards and expectations that we need, we won't win. That won't be a culture that wins year after year after year. We're going to hope that we have good players that come together and become one, maybe a 1 year, 2 year team. And then what happens after that? Your culture is history. It's history in the making. And that's what it is that it's, teams are hoping for that. Oh, we have that 8th grade team coming up and we're going to be good in a couple of years. Well, what if those standards aren't met, those expectations? What happens when that 8th grade team then graduates? What
Hope's
happens?
hope is just an act of desperation.
Yeah. Hope isn't a strategy as far as I'm concerned. So if you have not only the coaches, but the community who understands those expectations, we know that at Southern Regional, they expect certain things. And the parents know that. And year after year after year, it's not we got a good class. They have a good class every year. And
Because
they
of
just keep
development.
reloading. Yeah.
Yes, so developing the younger ones.
Mm-hmm.
They also do, we've said it many times, we had Joe DiPietro, their health and PE supervisor, speak
Yep.
at our state clinic for NHSCA. And he said, we've organized it in such a way that if you are in athletics, you are doing the strength training class and especially in season. So guidance does not organize health or driver's ed during your sports
Mm-hmm.
season, which I people might say, oh, they're focused on sports. They're actually focused on your son and daughter's health and
Yeah.
safety, which is getting them strong, building muscle. And I love that this hope is, hey, we're going to go out and do our own thing, and then I'm going to hope that my team does well. Or,
Mm-hmm.
hey, we lost, but I played good. No,
Oh,
like
yeah.
that doesn't help any. I still say, man, I would love to see sport coaches coming in, talking to the strength coach. And although I wonder about this, Paul, with NIL, with all these sports, even, whether it's D3, D2, not just D1,
Mm-hmm.
like our coach is just saying, hey, every kid is selfish now, so I don't care if he or she is a team player. I really miss hearing from coaches that they're looking for like a somebody with strong moral characters. They're just I haven't had a coach come in and check in on that for a very long time.
Well,
They just ask about numbers and skills.
the biggest thing at college is winning cures a lot, and it does bring in better recruits. There's no
Definitely.
doubt about it. So if you start winning, kids will want to go there to play.
Yep.
NIL, all that other stuff. So winning does cure a lot, but at our level, sometimes it doesn't because again, you'll have kids who want to do their own thing. Like we won a state championship my 3rd year at Hunter and Central, and then right after that, it was almost like, yeah, we're good, and kids are starting to do their own thing, and some other places are popping up in town, and again, the standards and expectations that we had set for those 3 years building up to that championship, at least in football, were now out the window, and now it came down to trying to build that back up again, and you almost have to tear it down to build it back
You know
up.
what
And
we need is you and I say this as parents, not just coaches.
mm-hmm.
The parents are not on board with team and unity, and you're like not respectful towards the coaches. I don't even know what to say. The coaches' recommendations. For example, a coach says, "Hey, we're the baseball team, we're the soccer team, we're the wrestling team,
Mm-hmm.
lacrosse team, volleyball team, whatever. We're you're going to go to Coach Colodi twice a week on Monday, Wednesday, or Tuesday, Friday. These are our times." And then certain kids don't show up at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, I don't really care what my coach says. Mom and dad at home need to say, you know what? It's actually very important for you to be a part of your team. It's very important for you to be respectful towards your
Yeah.
coach who's organizing something for you. And it's very important for you to take pride in the school.
Yeah.
And so what I really try to do in my strength training class is say, nobody here is going to get better at the expense of another athlete or another
Mm-hmm.
team. Wrestlers got to make volleyball players better.
Yeah.
Track got to make football better. Football got to help soccer get better. We got to come together and make each other better
Mm-hmm.
so we all win together. And it's a little like confusing and strange for kids because essentially I tell them also as they say on the airplane. And Billy said this from Bergen Catholic from Hoop Dreams. He's like, I tell the kids, put your mask on first. Be a great individual. He's like, because you can't be a great teammate until you're doing the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way it actually makes sense. Because if you just say, hey, put your mask on first, take care of you, what it means is, I can't tell Paul Collodi to work harder and show up 5 minutes early unless I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Myself, put my mask on first, then I can be a leader. But in the Navy, in the SEAL teams, even though it's totally different, the leadership analogy, they say ready to lead, ready to follow, never quit. Ready to follow means sometimes you're better than me at something, and I'm going to let you take the lead here. Sometimes I have a specialty, and now you got to follow me. But it's not a negative because everything's about the team.
Yeah. I thought Sergeant Major Pat Payne's talk down at Summer Strong was unbelievable about that, how things went down that day. And, we can't talk about it right now, but, his story was unbelievable. And if you ever get a chance, when it does finally come out, because I know there are Medal of Honor books, that's a story that you have to read. And I actually have the Medal of Honor book with all of the right now Medal of Honor inductees. So the stories are amazing on that. Going back to what you were saying, it's almost like the parents can't believe how much we care about their kids. Like, oh no, I tell my kids all the time. I wake up in the morning, I kiss my wife, I hug my kids. I want to make sure I take care of what I need to at home. But then the next thing on my mind is, what do I got to do to get our kids better?
Yeah.
What can I do? What is it going to involve to get the 30, 40, 50, 60 kids better in our weight room? Not only sets and reps, but like you said, to be a leader, to
Yeah.
understand those things.
Because sports eventually ends,
Mm-hmm.
and now it's like, hey, can they take the lessons as a vehicle to be better at life?
Yeah.
And my buddy Craig Fitzgerald said this best. I love that guy.
Mm-hmm.
When I told him about how much I care about kids, and I'm always thinking about these kids, and I'm always trying to get them better. He's like, Zach, that's because for you, being a coach is your calling. It's not just some job for you. You can't shut it off and not care. And that's it. We care. We couldn't shut it off if we wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, that's why coaches, sometimes a double-edged sword. We're so passionate and genuinely caring that we get hurt when your son or daughter doesn't even give us a chance to help. You worked in, were you in pro baseball, Paul, or was that
the minor league, the Somerset Patriots?
Pro baseball, minor leagues. I've worked at the D1 level. I started coaching in 95, but started my business in 2002. I mean, I've been brought in to work with Naval Special Warfare. We're not schleps. And so when we find out that your son or daughter is like, I'm just doing my own thing. I'm going to this XYZ gym and I did chest today. I did shoulders and back today. It's like, listen, that's not the way. I actually just posted a video, and a lot of people, these videos go on like gym fail, accounts.
Mm-hmm.
Kid was back squatting with his friend in the backyard, and there's a bench in front, and he falls down and face plants on the bench with the bar.
Yeah.
Absolutely could have been killed, paralyzed, broken neck. His friend didn't know how to spot him. The kid lifting doesn't know how to squat.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people think, hey, just go under a bar. How hard could it be? It's actually harder than ever before because our kids have, the new phrase is physical literacy. They have lack of coordination. They are not athletic, as we always say. Kids can't squat with their body weight today.
Mm-hmm.
Their backs hunch over. I actually often do lunges for a while before they squat to build their hip mobility and their ankle mobility, and then they're able to squat after a few weeks of that. And so I'm starting to tell parents now, listen, your son wants to train with his or her friends. They want to do their own thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. Sometimes you got to say no and get your kid educated. Oh, he doesn't like this coach, doesn't like that coach. I told my daughter the thing you have to get good at is adapting to change,
Hmm.
because you're going to play college tennis, and especially if you're in college football, the coaching changes and your teammates changing are so is just so erratic. And we had Scarlet Knights for Life come and speak at Middletown South,
I saw
and
that.
one of the kids were asking the athlete what was like your most humbling moments or the biggest struggles, and the guy on the soccer team said the change in our teammates every year and every semester. He's like, one year we're like, one of the best in the Big Ten. Next year we have the worst record ever
Hmm.
of our, that I've ever been a part of. And I was like, man, you just don't even know who your teammate is from one semester to the next. Forget about 1 year to the next.
Yeah.
And so they were talking. I always say you can't keep saying I don't like this person, I don't like that person. You have to be open to getting coached. If
Hmm.
we can't coach you, we can't help you. Last story I'm going to share, and then you'll share whatever less you want. Then we're going to get into our common movie and food stuff. I
Yeah.
tell athletes, I can't help you if you're closed minded. So I saw an athlete during lunch at school. We have free time, and he kept trying to unrack 250, 245 on the squat bar, 4, 5, 6 times. He couldn't do it. Kept up and down, 1 inch up and down. And so I came over and I said, hey, bud, if you're struggling to unrack it, you probably shouldn't squat it. He's like, I just did this the other day. I was like, probably not, because you can't unrack it. He's like, it was just crooked. I go, listen, I'd love to help you, but right now you don't want my help.
Yeah.
Right? So at age 15, somebody who already knows everything, we can't help them. It's okay for an athlete to say, coach, you know what? Can you please help me with this? And I'll just go lighter. That's the way you make progress. There's that saying, all progress starts with the truth.
Yes, sir.
Um, it's unsafe what that athlete was doing, and he refused to listen. He's like, I just did this the other day. No, listen, people have died squatting because
Hmm.
they do it wrong and ego gets in the way. I am 49. You and I went to Summer Strong a
Hmm.
couple weeks ago, 2 weeks ago. And what are we doing when we're there? We're asking other coaches, what's working for you? How do you do
Yep.
this? And here we are after 25 plus years of coaching, learning. We're not saying a guy tries to say something. Yeah, that's okay. I already know everything. Nope.
No
Everybody's there to
way.
learn. Zero ego, open minds. And one of the kids said to me today, he's like, I see you always go to these like seminars. How do you know all these people? I go, because I tell you guys to get better. I'm a fraud if I'm not getting better. So I go out and I get better.
Yeah. I did the NHSSCA podcast this week, and that was one of the things that we talked about. Is, he asked me if I were going to give young strength coaches some advice right now, I'd say, do less of the online. And I know everybody's got a great schedule, a hard schedule, but get to as many live events as possible. Those connections, you can't make those connections online. You just can't. And shit, nothing like shaking a hand and looking them in the eye and hearing what they have to say. And it's just, it's such a better, it's an environment. And then what you can do is, now you go and have dinner with them. You're not just in the room or in the weight room with them, or you're eating dinner with them and you're hearing about their family and the struggles they're having. And it becomes that the profession becomes real life, not just, sets and reps and Instagram and all of that other stuff. It's real life, what we do. And yeah, I just can't get enough of it. And I never will. I'm going to keep going as long as I can.
Yeah, it's just infinitely more powerful.
Hmm.
Tony Robbins always said, um, like the human experience is infinitely heightened when you are doing these things in
Yeah.
person. Nobody's getting hyped up on Zoom. You're even if you buy a course online. Look, I have my certifications online. I resisted doing it. I
Hmm.
hated doing it. But people don't want to travel. You
Yeah.
want to know who the best coaches were? the ones who would fly here and say, I'm sleeping in the car, or they would come out here and be like, I had enough money for the flight. I did not have enough money for a hotel. Can I pay somebody $20 to sleep on the floor? I had dudes asking me to sleep on the gym floor overnight.
Wow.
That is being hungry to win.
Competitors, man, competitors.
And that's where we had the best coaches, because they wanted to learn in person. They saw stuff on my YouTube. Instagram wasn't a thing back then, and they wanted to experience it. I see one of my athletes just like hopping on here, and I'm going to hammer this home. We had this seminar at my gym on Tuesday called Unstoppable Athlete. And I told parents and kids, skip your 50th private lesson with your third travel team and get to this event.
Yeah.
And I got to say, I'm not shocked, but I am disappointed in how many parents were like, nope, we're making it. They just didn't show up. And I am really heartbroken to see what has happened to sports. It's a broken model. It's not a system. A system is something that can evolve and you could change and improve upon and grow. It's a broken model that's just taking you to a bunch of games, tournaments. A lot of athletes are not being developed. They're just being thrown in to the matrix. And then at the end of high school, 93 to 94% are like, nope, F this. I'm not doing that sport in college. Maybe I'll do club. They're sick of it. And the parents just spent 14 or 13 years of their life almost every weekend traveling for that sport, giving up their vacations. And you cannot tell me that makes it good. And listen, my daughter plays tennis. My son plays baseball. I actually tried telling my son not to do travel this summer. And he's like, no, Dad, I'm doing it. I want to do it. He loves baseball. But you know what? There's going to be stuff that we're going to skip. So we have family time and downtime. I'm not destroying our family over these, crazy parents and all this crazy shit. Like 2 years ago, they were in Kentucky and they were beating teams like 23-1. So we need to go to Kentucky to beat the crap out of a team. What's the sense? It's all BS, dude. It's a bunch of BS.
Pay by the run, baby.
I was like, what the heck is that? Paul, let's move on to something positive because we got so fired up about it. I think another equalizer's coming out. I could have sworn I saw a.
Oh, man, don't tease me now. If it is
a Rambo, I thought I saw another equalizer.
If we do that, we got to do a live podcast from the theater.
We'll rent the theater. That's it.
I'll be with it. And by that time, we got to have Denzel on. At some point, either that or Sylvester Stallone. Somebody's got to come on.
Denzel, when you see, what he does, he stayed true to himself. Like, always gives credit to his wife. Always talks about his love for God. Always talks about work ethic, staying humble. I believe he's doing shows on Broadway. So he always goes back to his roots. He's never like too big for something.
Yeah.
Those are all the crucial elements of a successful athlete or successful fill in the blank. I was like vacuuming my gym last weekend and Nate was like, Zach, I'll do that. I said, dude, that stuff's important for me. It keeps me grounded. People don't know, but when I'm at my gym, I go into the bathroom, I clean the toilet. I scrub the toilet. I wipe down the sink. I refill the soap dispenser. Little things. Because I remember Greg Glassman, the founder of CrossFit, said, if you are teaching somebody how to do cleans and you pull a little bit with the arms and not, the shrug, he's like, that means you're just a work in progress. You're getting the person there. But if I walk into your gym and your bathroom is a mess, he's like, what the word he used? He said, that's fatal. He's like, it means you don't give a shit.
Yeah.
That's what he said. And he's like, so we could fix technique and how you're teaching somebody. He's like, but I can't fix if you don't care. And a dirty bathroom is the best sign of somebody who does not GAS. Or like our boy Anthony Schlegel says, You need a high GSF. You need a high give a shit factor. So when I see people walking over garbage,
Hmm.
that means you don't care. Pick it up. Let's go.
Man, we talked about that with our kids too all the time. That that's the pride. I know it's a cliche, and I know some people argue about it, but how you do one thing is how you do everything.
Yep.
You're so passionate about not just strength and conditioning, but your facility, your equipment. Like watching your history lessons on a York deep dish, I can't hear it enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To me, that shows how much you care about somebody will say, "Oh, it's just a plate." It's not. To you, it's not just a plate. To hear the rattling, to hear Bert say, they had those deep dishes on the bar, and they wouldn't put the clip on it for a reason because they would rattle, and his dad would come out of the office and go, "Hey, what's going
Yeah.
on out here?" This, those stories are so great, and I love them, and that those are things that I look back on and just knowing, and I mean it, and I mean it when I say it, that your passion and everything makes us better because you give the real truth, and there is no improvement without the truth.
Look,
And
look at my
I,
guy down here commenting. Zach Conway, one of my volleyball players, he goes, if you don't work in the gym, you don't work at home. I told him, I said, if you're lazy in the weight room, I guarantee your room's a mess. You don't help your parents with the dishes or the laundry. And I think that work ethic is crucial. It's, of course, important to have the intelligence combined with the work ethic, especially with this expansion of
Mhm.
technology and what AI is going to do. You need to be able to use the brains, but I really don't think you could be successful and lazy. And also, Paul, I'd like to say that the reason why I honor the physical culture and the history, the iron history,
Mhm.
is because I want to give respect to the people who came before us, the coaches, the strength athletes, the weightlifters. It's important for me. I guess because maybe in my early years, I remember people cut and pasting my whole website and just putting it on. And they had a gym in Nashville, Tennessee, and
Mhm.
they still left the Edison, New Jersey on it. It's important to
The
say,
hell.
I learned this from Donnie Thompson. I learned this from Paul Collodi. I learned from Kevin Vanderbush.
Mhm.
I learned this from Coach Sco. This leadership. Or Jeremy Boone. Hey, these are the leadership lessons I've learned from him. It's okay to say it. It actually feels better for your soul
Yeah.
to share who you learned it from. I don't need to take credit for something I didn't do. And I hate when I say something and I can't remember who I learned it from. It's like I'm afraid I'm offending them in the iron heavens.
Yeah.
What
No
else?
way. You
What
don't
about
do it.
food? Little
Uh,
little food
I'm
points.
gonna show you, and you say, what did I learn? Well, Zach, you're gonna get mad, but this is what I learned. I love the Blackstone, baby. I love the flat top griddle, man. I don't even have a grill anymore. I just have that.
Really,
I've learned how to cook on that flat top, man. It's pretty darn
I
good.
know
So
what's funny is my son just said, Dad, if I got you a griddle, would you use it? And I always say, E guy, I hate gifts. I don't know why. My gift is the people around me. So it's like, don't get me clothes, don't give me money, don't do, I just want to be with my family and a couple of friends, whether it's Father's Day, birthday, any special event. But and so are you connected to the house gas line or do you have to
no, I have a
propane?
tank. Well, we got to get you and E guy and the family up here. Bring Nate too, and man, I could put like 2 dozen eggs on there and bacon, and oh man, we'll fry it all up.
I wish my gym had some more room to pull out. They have like a small griddle,
Mhm.
and I would love to do a griddle. My buddy Chris Cavalrano um, trains at a gym up in Natick, Mass, and I think on Saturdays or Sundays after they train, they do some eggs and bacon and pancakes. Like I would love to do that. I just don't have the damn room to put anything anywhere.
I have a portable Blackstone too, so I can bring it down there. We'll have to bring like 3 pounds of beef for your
Nate,
boy though. And well, Nate, yeah, Nate, we have to bring a side, whole side of beef. He gets after it.
Nate Dogg likes to eat. But yeah, you're right. You do the portable because you go up to your son's games.
Hmm.
So that
Yep.
takes what, those little? propane tanks?
No, I bring a big one with it too. I never want to run out of gas, and I gotta fire it up. Let's go.
I don't want a big propane tank sitting in my truck. I don't trust it.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Seen too many movies. All right. I don't know like what's if there's any good movies coming out. Do you know of any good movies?
Nah, I haven't been paying attention.
What about
And
like like tonight? All right, it's 8:20.
yep.
I think I'm just shutting down the work. It's late. I might try to look at something on Netflix or Prime. I don't think there's anything good. What's good to like just shut off the brain and watch?
I don't even know. I'll watch the Knicks tonight for a little bit until I can't watch them anymore. I'll watch a little bit of sports. And I was up at 3:30 this morning, so I may shut it down early. Go get a haircut in the morning. My barber's up early. He's up at 6:30. He's at the place. Yeah, it's awesome. So I can get in and get out. I was gonna have a crew from Vald come in tomorrow, but one of them
Okay.
had a family emergency for a new timer system. Maybe. I love my Dasher, so we'll see how things go.
Okay.
Um, just start to put my day together tomorrow, and it's
Tomorrow's
my wife and I's 29th anniversary this weekend.
let's
So we're gonna maybe get away for a Saturday into the city and see a show or something. I didn't know Denzel was doing shows. I got to look it up to
I
see if
gotta
he's
look
doing
it
them.
up. I'm not sure if it's happening right now. And a lot of rain going on here.
Hmm.
Jersey Shore is a little bit rained out, but you're outside. I think I'm going to go out and take a walk, get some fresh air.
Get after it.
All right, guys. So this is New Jersey High School Strength Coach Podcast, NHSSCA.us, and Strong Life Podcast. Follow Paul. Paul on Instagram is Red Devil Strength.
Yeah.
I took a break from the X. I found like it's a lot of negativity. I've been posting stuff on LinkedIn.
Oh, I saw that. I saw your daughter's article on LinkedIn. And by the way, if Summer's listening or she listens, Summer, congratulations. Awesome article. And you should be really proud. Dad, I know you're a
Very proud.
proud dad. And yeah, man, what a great story.
She spoke about being a great
Hmm.
teammate and the power of team, and of course her coach Ryan Ritchie. All the things I always tell kids. I said I was not a good listener. I was not coachable. I made a lot of mistakes. I'm trying to share with you guys my mistakes so you could skip them and not do what I did. It's not good to not be coachable. So we were very, very lucky. You got to get lucky to have a coach like that who knows how to bring the team together.
Hmm.
And that was a special team. And my daughter feels that with Bucknell. Her coach is doing all that stuff. And so when you are like loving the people next to you, you could fight harder.
Yeah.
You trust each other. You could go further. So that's why me and you work so well together, because we love each other as friends, as brothers. Next year, we got to do another road trip. Plate sent us on a road trip last winter. You and I have to find another one and see if Play or somebody else could send us. And
Hey,
that was an trip.
maybe we take the farm bar. Jason will do it. Maybe in tech, and
Yeah.
every rest stop we got to do at least 20 deadlifts with the farm bar. You know, well, we can do that. I'm up
I
for
want
that.
people to look at my Instagram and YouTube, type in Farm Bar Intech Strength. That is our 2-inch thick revolving bar, and it's available through Intech Strength. It's not on their website, so you actually have to email them through the website, contact Jason, or email me, undergroundstrengthcoach@gmail.com,
Yep.
and we'll get you in touch with Jason. 2-inch thick bar. I love it. It's awesome. Let's shut
All
it
right,
down, Paul. Have a great night.
brother.
Have a
Have a
great
great
night,
walk.
everybody. We're out of
See ya.
here. Later.